Hey everyone, it's the tiniest one back with another video for you. And there's no way I can get the light right unless I keep my face right forward. Now, it's project time and it hasn't been project time for a long time, and that's completely my fault. But with the mojo kind of eking its way back in, it has got my brain ticking over a little bit about something that I've wanted to address for a little while. Now, when I look for a case, I kind of look for a case that I personally see something in, that I want to do something to. It's not, there is no kind of like written rule book for it, and it just, sometimes I like a case enough that I want to spend more time on it. Now, the SL600 was something that tickled my fancy when I first did get my hands on it. I'm going to move this one out of the way just so that we could have a better look. Now, glass one side, normal just sort of like steel panel on the other side. But with this one that we stripped out, normally the power supply sits in the front here and there's a cable that loops round to the back. But there's two 200mm fans in the bottom, and the airflow literally goes bottom to top, and you can fit up to a 360mm AIO in the roof. Fill it up with fans if you want as well. There's a really nice bracket at the back that you can either have your GPU normal or you can actually mount it vertically as well. Now, this was one of the cases I quite like the look of. I actually got to see it at Computex last year, so 2018, and they were talking about the fact that they weren't sure whether they were going to do a brushed effect or this kind of sandblasted effect. And I straight away got excited because I wanted a white one. So essentially, one of the projects, I'm going to turn the rig into my own personal rig. We're going to strip it all down. I'm going to get the powder coat stripped off. It's got to go off to be acid dipped. We're going to take the case down completely in pieces, so each panel is individual, take all of the rivets out, send it off to be acid dipped. When it comes out, then it's going to be powder coated. We're going to powder coat all the bits. We're going to powder coat the front and the top as well, so the silver parts. But then the other thing that I've had an itch to do for such a long time, and that's put some genuine carbon fibre on a case. Now, the reason why I've wanted to do it is I'm a car guy, and that's my antidepressants. I go and get my spanners out and I take things apart and I put them back together again because I'm not very good with medication. So I really, really like carbon fibre, and I always have done as well. The original Orca had white carbon fibre Dynoc in it. Admittedly, that's not proper carbon fibre, and I could, if I wanted to, and you guys could at home as well, wrap the top and the front with some 3M Dynoc, or there are some actually decent, I think they normally call them like 4D or 5D wraps now, but I actually like proper carbon fibre, and I always have done. It's just something about it. Now, I've made some good friends over the last few years because I live on an island and it's a boating industry over here, so I've got some mates that work with carbon fibre on a daily basis. So I thought it would be kind of nice to chuck some genuine carbon fibre at a computer case to make a nice little project case. And it will be quite understated when you think about it, but the grand scheme of things, it could end up being quite a nice project. Now, what this is going to mean is the turnaround time for us to be able to do the carbon sort of case. It's going to be on and off for about 3 to 4 weeks just because of curing times, and then we've got to flat everything back. Then you've got a lot of resin, there's a lot of layers, drilling out pinholes. Then it's got to be flattened back and then polished up to a really nice finish. And because of the metal edges on the case, it's actually a bit of a ball ache because it's like literal knife edges. So I'm going to have to go around with a Dremel and finish all the lines off. So that's quite a bit of work. And I'm going to try and and you're going to get videos on this, by the way, but I'm going to try and show you the carbon being done as well. We may go from this kind of introductory video into all right, we finished it before we build it kind of video on the carbon one. But the powder coaty sort of style one, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to go over on the day that it's done and actually make a video while I'm there to show you what happens with them being dipped. They can't leave it too long because it'll actually eat the metal. And then it getting powder coated, it blown it in, you know, and how they do it, because it's done with electrodes and stuff. I actually think it could be quite interesting. And if I think it's quite interesting, I'm hoping one or two of you at home would find it quite interesting as well. Now, I've been mocking up with the X299 Prime Deluxe, but I'm trying to get the new one, which is their 30th anniversary one, to go in this. It's going to be the white one. Now, I'm putting that in it at the moment, but obviously we've got some launches coming up, and we're just going to need to see what how good stuff is, because we don't know at the moment, although I am due to go away for things to be taught about these new products, but also what boards come out as well. And it will be a very, very kind of hand-in-hand thing, because I'm going to want to keep the theme white, because that's what it, you know, what they're going to be like for me. And then I do have some other carbony kind of bits that we can do a really, really nice build in this one as well, just to show you what could be possible if you've got the time and the, you know, maybe the friends that can help you, or that sort of thing, to be able to put this kind of together. Now, you may not be interested in doing it for yourself, but you may be really interested in just seeing how my carbon spec build ends up coming out. But I just thought it would be a good idea. And it's kind of, I like this one. I think it's going to be like called something like The Awakening, because obviously I've kind of got a rocket up my bum again. I'm trying to get my shiznies back together, trying to keep motivated, keeping the old like fluid intake nice and clear and clean. But if you've got any ideas on a name, then I would love that. I'm going to put the link underneath as well, so that you can see the build log on the OC3D website. Feel free to come and post your own. In fact, we would openly encourage you to. You just need to use something like Imager to host your images, and then put them in with image tags on the forums. And it's, you know, I mean, it's relatively straightforward. Good group of lads over there as well. But it's up to you. If you fancy a look, then I'm going to be doing these two over the next month to 6 weeks, which means we are going to get very big overlap with a certain processor release, and, you know, possible kind of, we'll see what happens about the new GPU releases as well. So things like, you know, I'm keeping them very fluid, and we'll see how things perform, and then whether we need to sort of like start changing bits and bobs that go in them. But this one, if it does end up on my desk, is going to have a very kind of white and red, heavy white and red theme, because that's just the sort of stuff that I end up, you know, that I personally end up liking. And yeah, so I'm excited to hear what you think. So please comment with them underneath. And don't forget, if you are interested in this sort of thing, a lot of people have been saying to me recently that my videos aren't coming up in their feeds anymore. If you head to the channel and hit the alarm, the little bell, it will give you notifications like the old days. It's just YouTube's kind of added it in another, you know, kind of layer into it, and just made things not particularly very helpful. But if you're interested, go and hit that. And then 2 relatively big projects. Now, these are just the start of them. The only reason why I've chosen these is because the carbon lends into the style on this one, and I actually like the airflow for the white one to kind of like, it will look all right on my desk. But there are there are chit chats about lots of other stuff that I could kind of do this sort of thing with you. So yeah, could end up being quite interesting. But let me know your thoughts underneath. And this is a very smiley, happy, tiny Tom Logan out. Ding!